Hi, my name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. I'd love for you to learn more about Patriot Mobile, www.patriotmobile.com/Gene V. More importantly, I'd like you to be a subscriber to his show. I mean, his Truthcast is amazing. And if you get to listen to some of them, you'll never go back. I really encourage you to come watch it.
Relationships matter because people buy people, and that's why I buy Eddie Zarin Insurance of the Zarin Insurance Agency in Pensacola, Florida. A family owned business with over 50 years in the business, and they treat people the right way. From homeowners insurance to contractors insurance, condo insurance, commercial insurance, all the different coverages that are out there, and of course, auto insurance. They've got you covered. They worry about you first. You're more than a policy number. You're a person who they're watching out for, not when the sun is shining, but after the hurricane has left. If you want real service with real savings, contact Eddie Zarin at the Eddie Zarin Insurance Agency. www.zarininsurance.com. Give them a call today. You'll be glad you did when you do.
How we're going to make it through the weekend, where we've been this past week, and as I say to you, good morning, Gene. What's going on?
A second cup of coffee indeed. Good morning, Ted. How are you?
Well, I was telling you earlier, my phone has been locked down for 24 hours like I'm a criminal. And you know, I'm a grown man, double grown man with grandkids. I even have a great grandchild. And yet I am addicted to an iPhone that I can't get turned back on for 24 hours. And I feel like I've broken the law some way, the way they're treating me, you know. I can't even turn the phone on.
There's that experience, Ted, will soon become buried in the annals of time. This SpaceX crowd and Elon Musk moving web server farms into satellite pods in outer space and generated from a nuclear cell in the station orbiting the Earth, and all of the transmission of your phone going up into lower orbit around the Earth to then come back down to the person you're talking to is the future. So a lot of that lockup you're experiencing is about to, no pun intended, melt away because, as I say, don't blink, you'll miss a chapter. There's so much going on in technology and AI that is good and is needed to accelerate some productivity and to reorient our thinking on what our moral and ethical standards are going to be in work, in the workplace, in the home, with our faith. There's a lot going on, and that cell phone has been at a pivotal, I was going to say tool. I'll just call it an instrument that we've been dealing with for a few decades now, and it certainly has impacted our way of life, hasn't it?
Well, I dealt with about an hour on the phone with someone at Apple Support, a very nice lady. She wouldn't tell me where she exactly lived, but she was somewhere in Tennessee, because I felt like I know her, talking for a while. And it was her against maybe AI or the machine against the human. And at the end of the hour and talking with her, the machine won. She could not override the fact that I had a number change on a security code on a credit card, you know, and it had been changed, but the machine didn't know it had been changed, whatever, you know. And she said, I just can't beat it. You know, you're going to have to wait the 24 hours. And I thought, man, this round one goes to the machine, but whatever. We're here.
My wife's gonna kill me if I bring this up, but she had an AI experience with a automated voice and customer service on a rental maintenance service program we paid for our appliances in our home, and she's asking to speak to a human being. Please give me a human being. You don't understand. We've just renewed our service, and I'm trying to get and make sure you're bringing the right parts out here. No, hit 1 for this, hit 2 for that. And it's going through a prompt that's sending her crazy. 15 minutes later, I lean into the room and hear her yelling at someone on the phone. And it turns out the automated voice says, "It seems like you're getting a little too uncomfortable and hot. You may need to get some counseling." Now, now here's the AI telling my wife she needs counseling because they're not responding to her customer service request. Well, I think I had to step in and intervene at that point. I won't tell you the rest of the story, but let's just say someone upstairs heard about it.
Let me tell you a stranger again. We'll get into some lifestyle, I guess. But I ordered a pizza one night over the telephone and ended up ordering it in India. But you know what? At the end of the conversation, I thought it made sense because all he had to do, that guy in India, was put it in the computer, and then the guy back in Hattiesburg, all he had to do was read it. He didn't have to answer the phone, do nothing, just make pizza all night. So, but I tell you one thing I did pick up years ago. I was having a problem calling Indian, Pakistan, or whatever, and somebody that had been in that business says, "Let me tell you something to say." When you talk to them, they ask them, "Would you mind connecting me with someone where English is the first language?" And I went through a series of people and ended up in Indiana talking to the nicest lady. So
it's amazing how our standards, our culture, and our way of life is being impacted here in the United States. I really hope people really become assimilate into the way of life of America if they plan to become Americans. Do we respect other cultures and faiths and heritages? Of course we do. We're a melting pot of the world in effect, but I'll be darned if you expect me to change my way of life and my way of I mean, you're coming to America because it has something to offer you. Assimilate into that like my Italian grandfather did, like my Irish grandmother and grandfather did, and learn that America is an element unto itself that other people give their lives for to keep in place and to come here and live under our way of life. I listened yesterday to Senator Tim Sheehy. My words, what a great patriot. He came out and started talking about the fact that the bracelet he was wearing on his wrist represented that which Americans had died for. He said Iran is fundamentally an ideological enemy and is not a geopolitical rival. He is talking about a way of life that refuses to assimilate into the United States. And this is where we Americans must draw the line. Do we respect other cultures? Sure. But we must draw the line now, and I reach out to the political leaders who could be listening and strongly suggest they draw a line in the sand. When a foreign nation or culture, a religion, a faith, a way of life is diametrically opposed to those cultures, those ways of life that our Constitution, a faith-based Constitution, has established, they cannot expect that culture to assimilate into America when they want Americans dead, when they want the Christian and Jewish faith abolished. I'm over it. We young Americans must step up and realize that this is a step too far, and we best get on board to remove and extricate these enemies of America in one way, shape, or form, effective immediately. I was hoping to run for Congress. I did, and I lost against another Republican candidate. Fine, but Congress, if I was in there now, Ted, would have been a battle from hell. I would have been spending as much time fighting off foreign adversaries who are trying to take over Congress as I would be trying to get things done locally, projects for the people who elected me. It's how many of our congressmen and women are spending time with projects in the districts they came out of? Or are they in Congress fighting off foreign enemies, bad actors that were trying to take us out? And here we have poor Donald Trump having to justify going after Iran. I'm not against going into full war against Iran, who supported the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. 2,000 people dying in the Gaza Strip in Israel just 3 years ago. We are a nation that must protect its neighborhoods and our backyard now. And they, like cancer, have infiltrated through the back door. And while Trump's worrying overseas about the proliferation of this hostile regime trying to take over the world with the help of Russia and China, we best locally worry about what's going on in your neighborhood and mine, the damage, the cancer from within. And so it's a multi-pronged approach. So when they start confusing your attention and talking about temporary increases in the gas prices, so what? I want a nation that's going to be around for my grandchildren. I'll pay $4 a gallon right now on a flawed oil pricing marketplace that needs to change unto itself when we drill, baby, drill, and get more oil domestically built up within our nation. Watch the marketplace pricing on how we value oil and really gasoline. The marketplace determinant is gasoline pricing, not the price per barrel. And in this process, we must get off the notion of, an inconvenience in our economy for 3 weeks, 3 months. So what? Let's save a nation. Our grandparents and great-grandparents ended up having war bonds. Do you remember the war bonds?
Oh, yeah.
You invested in war bonds to help fund our great-grandparents in fighting a war against hostile communist regimes that were intended even back then in taking out this nation. Get over it. Wipe your nose and roll up your sleeves and get into defending this nation like the rest of the patriots that are working and doing to protect the future, not of me, but of you and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I want a 500-year anniversary of this nation to boast about, and look down upon from wherever I end up. I hope to see that 500-year celebration.
Gene, I'm so glad. I needed you this morning. I live in a bubble. Now we got about a minute and a half here. I live in a bubble, and to some degree you do where you there. I can go to the Waffle House or Chesterfield's in Hattiesburg and tell the person next to me, God bless America, thank you for your service, your military, whatever. Everybody's on the same page with me. And I cannot fathom. I talked to Mike Ezel every week for a little bit before going there, just off the record, 2 buddies. He said, you wouldn't believe Washington. He said, the Democrats will walk out of a restaurant you're in. Said, it's not that old party of John Kennedy and the rest of them. Said, it's, communist and socialist. And I have to shake my head. I said, in America? I can't believe it, Better stand up.
And the nation in the recent World Soccer matches held throughout the nation, 3/4 of them were in secondary and tertiary markets around the nation, not in sanctuary cities and blue states. And we had to hear on the news that foreigners said, I didn't know this part of America existed.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of America. most of the world doesn't know about. Well, that beauty that tourist visitor is talking about is about 3/4 of the nation, the non-blue state, the non-density areas where a lot of these communists are now taking hold.
Wow.
We need the Muslims and the Islamic regimes, and anyone pledging to destroy America needs to now feel the full weight and force of our response. Read between the lines.
Gene, I tell you what, you've taken us to music. You're better than that medicine I'm taking for my sinus or a man with no phone. You've made my day. Thank you, brother.
Best to you, brother.
You have a good one, too. Gene Valentino.
Some people watch opportunities pass by. Others create them. This is for the entrepreneurs, the deal makers, the risk takers, and the relentless few who refuse to settle for average. Corporate Menace Coffee Co. is built for early mornings, late nights, and the moments that define careers. Specialty coffee, roasted to order for you, the person with goals too big for excuses. Work harder, think bigger. Corporate Menace Coffee Co. What are you waiting for? Fuel up now. www.corporatemenace.com.